Hey, Lewis, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Kevin.
So let's talk about the persona that you bring to a performance. How do you keep it real while still having some fun? Like, how important is it to you to have costumes on, or clothing that calls attention to yourself?
A look.
Yeah.
I call the guy that I am on stage Principal Lewis, because of the band is Academy related.
Right.
So, and it's just a name, and it's just a shtick. It's a theme, but it seems to work.
That's good. It's a shtick that helps people bring you in. It helps bring people into the tent, right?
Well, I'm so much more active online than I am on stage. So when people read my stuff and say, "Oh," because I'll end every post with "That is all, Principal Lewis," but I'll get on stage and I'm just outlandish outfit. And by that I mean, let's say, a highlighter green shirt, polka dot bow tie, white pants. Who wears a white belt anymore? That kind of thing.
No one.
So it's important to me because every performance I've ever seen, like big shows on television, MTV, whatnot, the lead singer looks a lot more standoutish than everybody else.
Sure.
You kind of want that if you're going to sell records.
Yeah, Steven Tyler,
Guar, Kiss, James Taylor. No, kidding.
Yeah, he's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about in terms of putting on clothes. That guy comes out looking like me,
an actual principal, with the leather patches and I tried that once and discovered that certain fabrics on stage do not work on stage.
Kidding. Really? Yeah. Why doesn't the fabric elbow thing work?
I don't so much need a towel as I need a squeegee.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, every time I'm shopping for stage wear, it has to be cotton. It has to be able to breathe. And if I can roll the sleeves all the way up to here, I'm good.
Yeah.
So. I can even wear a bow tie as long as my arms are exposed and I have some kind of wind on my face. I'm good.
Oh, because you get hot.
Oh my God!
I see. Yeah.
And so far as putting an actual real life costume with all the accoutrement on, you're going to pay for it somewhere about 30 seconds into your first song, and that detracts from your performance.
How so? Talk to me about that.
Well, you get hot, things go wrong.
Yeah.
Sweat pours into your eyes. Sweat is full of salt. So you're doing this, and
they're blinking.
It doesn't really look good, which is half the reason I wear these on stage sometimes, to hide that whole thing. Plus, I don't like my eyes. So
you got great eyes, great eyes. But now, speaking of the eyes, let's talk about connecting with your audience. If you've got some, colorful, flashy clothes, hat, the goofy bow tie, whatever, you're trying to attract their eyeballs right away. The trick is then, what do you do with them once you get them? Do you stay goofy? Do you turn it into a more serious interaction?
It's not so much goof or being serious as it is just being honest to whatever song you're playing. And as the classification of my music has gone from geek pop to outright in-your-face rock and roll, period, amen, after the period, I have a lot of attitude that I put behind the music, and it physically takes a lot out of me to deliver what the song is. So when I write it, there's this whole performance. I can hear and see the arrangement, everything. All of that comes together and just emits out of me. Not just the voice, but the facial expression. Maybe a leg will kick out during a chord, come back, and just that whole thing, And I've seen performers do this in the past. I go, okay, like Paul McCartney does the head bobble thing.
Yeah.
I understand it now. It's not something you try to do. It's just an affectation of what you're doing. It's like, performance art, if you will. And maybe that's a bad example. Just performance.
No, actually, I think you've got something. Yeah. It's theater.
Yeah.
And it's also like I guess you could call it a multimedia presentation of your song, because you're cueing people. There are studies that show that when people assimilate information that you're giving them, they assimilate it better if they have different cues for it. If you're reading, if you're tactile with the reading and you're reading it and even getting an oral component to the reading, you understand it better and you retain it better. Does that, it seems like that kind of applies to performance as well. If you're grabbing their head with a head, or their eyes with a head bobble, they're engaging more intimately with what you're putting out there.
Trying to engage all the senses, except for smell.
Yeah, you don't want to smell. Unless there's something real nice like
Scratch and
flowers.
sniff band,
Yeah, I did a gig once, well, a few times, where you're walking around tables, which is kind of a really different relationship with your audience, like busking.
I can imagine that would be different depending on which neighborhood you're in,
Well, yeah,
like, oh, patchouli, again.
Yeah, which tables? But you once did a gig where you gathered people together in a tight circle. Tell me about what the different kind of persona you brought to that engagement, rather than being removed from them and putting it out there.
There was an open mic. Not many people left at the end of the evening, and they were all in the back. And when that happens, if you're all the way over here, they'll just do this, right? So I trapped them. I just grabbed the chair, went over, sat down. I go, "Hello, my name is Lewis. I'll be your performer this for the next 10 minutes." And just went to town on 3 songs.
So you unhooked from the mic and you walked back to where they were, right?
Oh no, literally, I was sitting about 10 feet away from them anyway. I just kind of turned the chair and scooted up a little bit, and they all went, "What? Wait, what? What's going on? What?" And then I started singing, and basically they have to pay attention at that point. It was kind of mean, but by the end of it, I got a lot of clapping, a lot of, "Hey, that was good. Thank you for doing it." This was a unique experience. The guy that was running that particular open mic came up to me afterward and just kind of nudged me in the shoulder and said, "I'm stealing that. That's wow."
And when you're doing that kind of performance, you're having eye contact. The persona that you're bringing to it is a much more intimate thing. It's like drive-by emotion. You're having an intimate relationship with the people in that little audience for 3 minutes. Yep. Is that real or is that fake?
At that distance, it's kind of hard to fake it. It really is, because and you're no longer trying to be somebody. You are who you are at that point. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, or what they've drank.
Right. Yeah.
You know that joke. The more you drink, the better I sound, or
that's
look.
right.
Yeah.
Smoker the drink, the better you get, or the Joe Walsh album. And then that's a different relationship too, when you're just trying to pep up addled people, as opposed to communicating something. You've got a song about a girl left at a theater. How is that a different kind of persona that you bring to performing that song, as opposed to just some rocker?
Technically, on that one, it's on capo 9. I mean, it's way up there. It's got that really kind of mandolin sort of sound.
Yeah.
And I do it in falsetto on a lot of it. So, and as I'm talking about a little girl abandoned at a theater and then following her life as an adopted person, it comes out more sweet, more sincere, and you're touching emotions at that point. And I don't do that one very often, because there's a word I use for these songs. I have 3 categories: rockin', medium, pisser. It's a pisser. Because you're following a kind of a tragic event. There's another one I have about a woman who shoots her husband because she cheated on her, and another one about a lady who befriends a homeless person who has died. But these are all very tender songs.
It's a pisser because it's harder to perform?
And it's a pisser because by the time I'm done, they're breaking out the Kleenex.
Yeah.
That kind of pisser. Not in a bad sense, but so far as the emotion is concerned, it's not all energy and happy and upbeat dancing. It's raw. Yeah.
Can you deliver that kind of song with a goofy bow tie and a bright lime green outfit?
I think it all depends on what part of the concert it is. If it's near the middle and I'm warm, I'll yank the tie off and have it hang down to denote a little more seriousness. And as I continue on, I can still do the rocker stuff with a little less festooned. But what you wear and what you deliver don't necessarily have to connect. And I think at one point earlier today, you talked about wearing a red clown nose and stuff like that, and being able to deliver that kind of a song. There'd be serious poignancy involved if it were about a clown, But I don't know that it'd be a wise decision, because you'd be distracting them.
That's
with this big bright
yeah.
nose, you know.
Yeah,
And that's just an example.
Yeah, you're negotiating it's like an old editor of mine said about presenting things on your front page. The Chronicle in the old days used to have goofy stories about chickens with clothes and stuff like that. And the idea was that you gave them the goofy stories, then you pulled them in the tent, and you gave them the serious stuff.
Right.
Is it to some extent is wearing an outfit like that? You're pulling them in, you're making them laugh a little, and then you take them on a journey?
Well, the first thing you really want to do, especially as a rock musician, is kind of grab them by the shirt, shake them up a little bit, and you open the concert, good, high energy, and then ease your way into the more serious stuff. And I guess the pretentious part of you would say, well, this proves that I'm a serious artist and that I can. It's not really who I am, but I can't control what the muse gives me when I write it. So if I want to share that, if I feel it's a good decision for that evening, then I'll bring it in.
Yeah, what's the persona you want most to be out there for yourself? Serious songwriter with a goofy side, or a laugh-a-minute guy?
It's not so much goofy. I like it to be in your face, a little bit
You're demanding attention?
Commanding, yeah, you're commanding of attention that way. I am, or I like to be. So I'm never really, like the whole singer-songwriter Americana sort of thing. It's to me kind of in the way of colors. It's beige, it's brown. It's not really. It's like the color of a computer. Back when they were the putty,
Yeah, yeah.
But when I do the more energetic stuff, we're getting into the brighter colors, the neons, the polka dots.
Yeah, it's
stuff
interesting.
like
Yeah, that kind of music does evoke those kind of colors, as opposed to doing some introspective Jackson Browne song where you'd be wearing earth tones or something like that.
Well, there's also another side to that coin. You could take one of your most raucous tunes and step it down, and maybe even do bluegrass with it, and something interesting happens. It converts, it changes, it becomes something that's more appropriate for a coffee house. But those who have heard it go, oh, look what he's done. I was just out in the truck earlier playing one of my other tunes, and I tried completely different strum pattern with it and discovered I might record it like this too.
Oh yeah, you can do songs 5 different ways.
But no matter what you're delivering, when you're on the stage, if you're dressed a certain way, if you're wearing this veneer, it'll make your audience walk away having heard a good show, and when they're talking to somebody else later, yeah, this guy was on stage, it was really good, and but God, you should see the outfit. And that's the side note I kind of want to have. I want to make a statement that when I get up there.
Yeah, you're putting out a serious thing.
I respect what the stage represents. Like you said before, it's theater.
Yeah.
And you don't get on a stage without wearing your makeup or putting on your costume.
Totally.
Right.
Well, thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it. Good conversation.
Thanks.